Yes, extremely. Okay, so in our last class, we were discussing about the central economic problem and the basic economic problem. So many times when we used to have written examination, hopefully आप लोगों का भी written examination हो सकता है, right? Final examination. So for you also, you need to understand that many students mix up with the question of the problem of economy, right? Economic problem, right? So when it is asked explain the basic economic problems, right? So then we have to explain the basic economic problems, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, right? So sorry, basic economic problems, when we discuss that, we have to discuss that is economic, that is human wants are unlimited and resources to fulfill those wants, and these resources have unlimited uses or alternative uses, right? This is the basic of economic problems. And what are the central economic problems, right? These are that economy need to take decision, central economic problem, that is to what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, right? So we discussed the central economic problem, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. एक मिनट, मैं पहले एक बार व्हाइट बोर्ड में एक चीज दिखाती हूँ. Although it is not part of your syllabus, that is whiteboard, right? So I'm using PPC. So it is not part of your syllabus ki what is production possibility curve, but still I am trying to explain this central economic problem. Central economic problem, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, right? So these three central economic problem arises only because of the basic economic problem, that is resources are limited, resources have alternative uses, right? जैसे हम कल भी डिस्कस किए थे कि फॉर इकोनॉमी, फॉर एग्जांपल इन इंडिया, व्हाट टू प्रोड्यूस, वेदर टू प्रोड्यूस गन or food, right? Or whether to produce consumer good or capital good. Capital good means machineries. Whether to invest all their resources, right? Resources तो कम है, पैसे कम है, right? All the resources in production of consumer good or capital good. और दोनों equal नहीं कर सकते because resources are limited. So that's why मैं whiteboard use करके ही I am trying to. Can you see the whiteboard? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am, we can see it.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
So
Ma'am,
नहीं
something
दिखता है,
went wrong is coming on the screen.
कुछ भी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है स्क्रीन में.
नहीं मैम, whiteboard दिखाई दे रहा है मेरे को तो.
Okay. For example, so this is a I'm trying to explain the central economic problem with the help of the production possibility curve. So for example, there is a country or an economy, for example in India, so there are two options, whether to produce consumer good. मैं इसमें थोड़ा सा एक्सपर्ट होना पड़ेगा. एक कुछ डिजिटल पेन भी आता है, that for the digital artist I have ordered that in Great Indian Sale. मेरा iPad में तो नहीं हो रहा है. Okay. So for example, there is two option to produce, right? What to produce, whether consumer good or whether capital good. पहले हम बात कर लेते हैं कि what is production possibility curve. Production possibility curve क्या है? So it is a graphical representation of the combination of to show the combination of different goods, alternative goods, which a producer or an economy can produce, right? Either because both the things cannot be produced equally. For example, if in a economy all the resources are, most of the resources are being invested in production of, for example यहाँ पे हम example दे सकते हैं rice, right? Or cloth, right? That is your necessity good, right? whether rice or whether computer or machineries, any machineries, right? It's very difficult to use this. Okay. Whether to produce rice or computer, there is two
Hello, ma'am.
alternatives. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but ma'am, can you please zoom out a little bit of whiteboard? Ma'am, we are not able to see clearly.
Okay, okay, no issue. Just I'm just this is not exactly. Otherwise मैं word में दिखा देती हूँ. Word में मेरा वो note में भी है. बस फटाफट में 5 मिनट, हाँ 5 मिनट में दिखा रही हूँ. So within this production possibility curve, we can show that, for example, in India, so there is more requirement of rice. So government has decided that we have to use more of our resources in the production of necessity good or consumer good, that is rice. If all the resources are being used for rice, then a very little resources will be available for production of capital good, right? Because if this is 0 and this is कुछ भी नाम दे लो, R दे दो, right? If OR resources is used in production of consumer good or rice, only OC amount is used, OC amount of resources is used in production of computer, right? So now, if we decrease the investment of our resources in production of rice and increase, अगर demand बढ़ा है for a capitalist economy, they will decide that we have more demand of computers, so we need to produce more computers, and for that they have invested more of their resources, right, in production of computer. So they have increased their resources in computer, right, and decrease from OR to OP. So अब rice कम production होगी, computer ज़्यादा बनेगी. Similarly, as soon as the decision is taken that no, production can be done, should be done in capital good or computer or machineries and not in consumer good, so we have to decrease the production of the other alternative good, right? And when we join all these point, right, we get a production possibility curve, that is downward sloping concave curve. So production possibility curve looks like this, and these are all the points, alternative points of production, right? So where economy can invest their resources in production of different alternative goods, because resources have alternative uses, right? Either this P or this point or this point, right? So also called as production possibility frontier. This position area is called as production possibility frontier. Remove क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Okay, so this area is called production possibility frontier. So now, so if economy is using resources, that means there is underutilization of resources. अगर यहाँ पे this is all the available resources in the economy. अगर if the economy is using the resources in this area, that means there is underutilization resources. So there are available of resources, but it is not utilized. If it is assumed that if it is produced here, that is impossible, because overutilization भी नहीं हो सकता when resources are not available. So you cannot produce in this point, right? You have to produce within this area. Within this area only, that is possibility frontier, economy can take the decision which production or which type of product need to be produced, what to produce, right? And for whom to produce also, this same production possibility curve can be used whether to use labor intensive technology or चलो मैं ये बंद कर रही हूँ. I need to practice more and more of using whiteboard. Okay, at least you have understood, right? I will send you a word copy where you can understand better. So all the decision in the economy can be understood using this production possibility curve. How there are two possibilities, the x-axis and y-axis, right? So if it is decided that more of a alternative product or product is need to be produced, then the other alternative product need to be reduced, right? So दोनों चीज एक साथ equally produce नहीं कर सकते because of this limited resources. Okay, so then we also discussed that after this economic problem, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So what do you mean by for whom to produce? Yes, we discussed. Yes, Shali.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for whom to produce in that among which people and public the distribution has to take place.
Okay.
The different kinds of audiences.
Not consumer. So we will say consumer because consumer means people who have. There is two difference. अगर consumer का नाम लिया इसलिए मैं discuss कर रही हूँ. There is two difference between a customer and a consumer. What do you mean by a customer and consumer? Anyone knows? Customer का मतलब क्या है and consumer का मतलब क्या है? Yes. Anyone?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, Harsh.
Ma'am, customer is the one who purchases the goods, and ma'am, consumer is the one, ma'am, who is the end user of any goods or services.
Yes,
Ma'am,
perfect.
And ma'am, consumers are unable to sell any product or service, but ma'am, customers need to purchase a product or service in order to use it.
So that means a retailer is also a customer, right? So
Yeah,
that
ma'am.
means if any a producer is selling goods and services, right? And if it is purchased, if we are purchasing, right, we are buying, if we are buying the product for our own use, right? So that means we are the consumer, the end user, right? And when we are buying the product and services for not our own use, but for resale purpose, then we are customer. So both so consumer is also a customer, right? But customers is not consumer. So that means when we are buying it for our own use, that is consumer, and when we are buying for a not for our own use but maybe for a resale, then that means a retailer, a wholesaler is also customer from the producer, right? Producer produces and it also sells to the wholesaler and retailer. So they are also customer. For what to produce, how to produce, so we discussed that whether to produce capital good or consumer good, or maybe consumer good क्या है for the use of end use. That means rice हो गया, cloth हो गया, anything, right, for their own use. So whether to produce consumer good or whether to produce capital good. Now what is capital good? Capital good is that which will be used for further production of any goods or services, right? Capital good का मतलब ये है, capital का मतलब क्या है? Which is used for production, right? It may be monetary capital, right? Financial capital or even machineries, right? So if we are producing capital good means machineries. It may be a computer or be some heavy machineries, tools, right? So that is capital good. So capital goods will be used for further production, right? And consumer good will be produced for the end users, right? For selling it to the general public for their own use, or that means when we are doing, or when economy is producing more of consumer good, it is mainly for the welfare of the people, right? And it is not, definitely there will be also profit maximization, but when a producer is or economy decided that yes, we have to produce more of a capital, although there is more need of consumer good, so they cannot do it in socialist economy. Socialist economy में क्योंकि क्या होता है कि all the production decision are taken by the government, right? And for capitalist economy, so where production decision are taken by the producer, so they will see that where the demand is more, so where they can earn more of profit. If they can earn more of profit, then they will utilize all their resources in production of maybe computer or maybe machineries, maybe in robotics. Why in developed economies like Germany, then USA, they are investing, they have been in the news for production of all the new age technology like robots, artificial intelligence, then driverless car, right? SpaceX, so that the Tesla has been doing, right? So why all this capitalist economy, they are spending so much money on all this technology? Because it is a capitalist economy and they will produce those things which will earn them maximum profit, right? So the production decision are taken by because the producer. And also there is another reason that the demand for consumer good is less there, right? So people are self-sufficient, they are satisfied with the whatever consumer goods is available, and that's why they can invest more of their resources in capital good or machineries. Similarly for India, which is a mixed economy, right? So here the resources available cannot be utilized for production of some very expensive machineries which will take all their resources, because there are other problems like hunger, starvation, right? There is inflation, right? So all these resources are utilized for the production of mainly consumer good, right? Because there is a heavy population, high population here, and people are not self-sufficient and satisfied with the basic necessities. So here, since it's a mixed economy, the production decisions are taken by both the producer as well as the government. So we will discuss how government takes the decision. So that means in a country like India, in economy like India, the resources are utilized more on production of consumer good. How to produce? We discussed that whether to how much to utilize different resources, or how much to utilize different factors of production. That is how much to utilize land. Land is also scarce here, not available. Land is there, right? So even big companies like Tata, then POSCO, they are fighting for getting a land for their production, right? So here land is not available. What is available, what is more cost efficient, that is labor. So we can see that in countries where population is high, so mainly in such countries labor intensive technology are more used, because of this cheaper labor availability. So production can be, the cost of production can be decreased by utilizing the less expensive factors of production, right? So if there is for example like in economy like France or a Germany, so their population is less, right? So wage is very high, right? That is salary is very high. So what they will do, they will utilize a source of production or how to produce. So by utilizing more of machineries and less of labor, because there is no availability of labor, as well as it is very high, right? The wage rate is very high. The cost of production will increase then. So they will decide that yes, they will produce their production, they will produce by utilizing more of capital intensive technology than labor intensive technology. So it will depend on which one will be less expensive, right, and which one will make their cost of production or their expenses in production decrease. For whom to produce, right, that is a problem of distribution. That if we have produced computers, right, if we have produced computers, but now the question is for whom to produce, right, whether it is to be sold to a higher economic high और फॉर नेसेसिटी के लिए करना है. अगर अभी फॉर एग्जांपल government has given so many incentive for production of computer and technology goods under Digital India, so that technology goods can also be produced at a lower price, so that it can be available to lower income strata of people, right? So otherwise what is happening, if if product is produced but at a higher price, that means it will be available for only specific segment of the economy, right, or of only high income strata of the economy, and lower income strata will be people will be uh, not able to avail or cannot purchase, cannot afford the product, right, because it is a high price product. So that's why it is a problem of economy key for whom it need to be produced, right? So whether it need to be distributed to a high income people or low income, produce luxury good or necessity good. So we can see all the necessity goods available are lower in price, and all the luxury items like car, machineries, AC, they are very they are high in price, right? So it is economic problem. So for whom to produce, whether for a luxury good or a necessity good, whether for high income group of people or low income group of people. So as we discussed that there are three kind of structure of economy are there, that is capitalist economy, socialist economy and mixed economy. We discussed that capitalist economies are those economies so where all the production decisions are taken by the producers, right, or the capitalists. And socialist economies are those economies where production decisions are taken by government, and mixed economy is a experiment between this capitalist and socialist economy, where the decision, economic decisions are taken by both the producer as well as the uh, government, right? So how the problem of economy can be solved by the producer. So for producers, for how they will solve the economic problem, they also have limited resources, right? It's not like the resources are unlimited there, right? They are also having scarce resources or unlimited resources. So, but because in a capitalist economy, for the producers, their main motive is profit maximization. They will produce those goods only which will have more demand, right, which can be sold at a higher price, right, so that they can earn maximum revenue, maximum profit. So that's why in such economy, right, in capitalist economy, they will utilize all their resources in production of capital good, right, where they will have maximum profit, right? So we can see all the highly developed countries like developed economy like USA, then France, Germany, England. So all these developed economy, they utilize all their resources in production of mainly technology goods or machinery or capitalist goods, because there they can generate more of profit. And कंज्यूमर गुड्स भी प्रोड्यूस होती है, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं प्रोड्यूस होती है, बट द मैक्सिमम ऑफ देयर रिसोर्सेज और द मनी इज स्पेंट more on production of all this capital good. So for taking all these decision, uh, how to utilize these resources and what to produce or how to produce, right? So like for a capitalist economy, they will decide for what to produce. right? They will decide, okay, which will earn them maximum profit. जहाँ पे profit ज़्यादा मिलेगा, they will produce that goods only, right? जैसे हमने example दिया था कि how USA is been investing so much amount, so much of investment in production of driverless car, AI technology, artificial intelligence technology, robotic technology, right? So although it is not of present need, present में इसका कोई demand नहीं है, robotic technology or AI technology, they are doing research and development for their future need, future demand, right? They are spending so much amount in R&D of this AI technology and robotic technology because they know that they will earn more profit there, and they are forecasting the demand in future, that demand of kind of resources, this kind of technology like artificial intelligence or robotic technology in future, near future. So they are investing there, right? But for India or some developing economies where the need of the people is for consumer good, right? Basic necessity. So more and more resources are spent on production of this consumer good. So for this decision in capitalist economy, how they solve the economic problem, that is how to produce, for whom to produce and what to produce, by these four criteria, four price mechanism, right? So price mechanism means price mechanism क्या है, we will also study कि what to produce, right? That is demand and supply. मुझे again whiteboard use करने का मन कर रहा है. All right. So what to produce and what for whom to produce. अगर आप एक मिनट फिर से करो एक बार whiteboard use. So I just need to just 5 minutes के लिए. Although I am not expert, I want to what is price mechanism. So for price mechanism, just 2 days back we discussed, that is demand and supply. Price is fixed at the point of equilibrium where demand and supply will be equal, because if it is not on equilibrium, then there will be surplus and there will be shortage, right? When there will be shortage, when demand will be high, अगर price कम कर देते हैं and demand increases but supply decreases, but supply is low, then there will be shortage of resources or shortage of the product. And when supply increases because price is high and producers are supplying more and more of the product, but demand has decreased because of the high price, then what will happen? There will be surplus, right? Shortage हो जाएगी अगर demand high होगी and supply less होगा, and surplus हो जाएगा when demand is low and supply is high, right? So that means price need to be fixed at a point of equilibrium. So that is called price mechanism, right? So how price is being fixed, that is using this price mechanism strategy, that is by interaction of demand and supply at the point of equilibrium, जहाँ पे demand and supply will be interacting. Interaction point जो है, intersection point जो है, उस point में, that point is called as equilibrium point, right? At that point of equilibrium, price is fixed and quantity to be produced is also fixed. For a capitalist economy, produce their goods using this price mechanism. Okay, then while fixing the price, ठीक है, they can ascertain कि what's the demand of the people, right? So accordingly they will produce that goods, because if demand is high for a particular good, so if they produce that product, they will have they can earn more profit because their product will be sold in the market to fulfill the demand, right? So but along with this price mechanism, for the producer, they also need to check the competition, right? What kind of competition is there, whether then we need to they need to check what kind of market is that, whether a perfect competition or a monopoly or a monopolistic or a duopoly or oligopoly. So हम ये बाद में बात करेंगे कि what are the different kind of market. But first, for this understanding this price mechanism, right? So if a capitalist economy is taking the decision of producing a particular good, right? So because they will earn maximum profit there. So that's why they have to check the demand of the people. What is the need and demand of the people? Then also they have to check what are the other producers they are producing and at what price, right? So if in a particular product segment and a particular industry, if there is less of competition, less of producer producing a particular product, then there will be a stiff price competition, right? So agar for example, uh, there is Tesla who is producing, who is doing this production of or R&D in having a driverless car, or SpaceX, that is space technology, right? So if there are some other competitors also, other companies also, which is also producing a similar kind of product, so producer as a consumer हम कौन सा प्रोडक्ट खरीदेंगे which will have a less price, right? जिसका प्राइस कम होगा, as a consumer we will buy that product of lesser price, right? So uh, uh, that means for a producer he need to ascertain that what are the available competitors or producer in
Excuse
the
me, ma'am.
same industry. Yes.
मैम बट जैसे आपने एग्जांपल लिया टेस्ला का, तो
Hmm.
मैम टेस्ला जो है कंपनी, वो तो मैम ऑलरेडी मतलब मिडिल क्लास लोगों के लिए बेसिकली वो है ही नहीं, वो प्रोड्यूस ही उनके लिए करती है जो रिच हैं, क्योंकि उसके अंदर के जो फीचर है जैसे ऑटो पायलट हो गया और वो पूरी इलेक्ट्रिक कार है,
Hmm.
तो मैम वो मिडिल क्लास या फिर लोअर मिडिल क्लास के लिए तो है ही नहीं पहली बात। और अगर हम सोचते भी हैं कि हम टेस्ला लेंगे, तो मैम हम उसके अंदर कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं करेंगे ना प्राइस का, क्योंकि मैम ऑटो पायलट वाला फीचर और किसी कार में इतना है नहीं, तो मैम हम फिर ये को देखेंगे कि कौन सी कंपनी कम दे रही है, क्योंकि मैम सेफ्टी और फीचर्स के एस्पेक्ट भी तो बंदा देखेगा ना जब गाड़ी खरीदेगा।
I think you are confused. मैं वो चीज नहीं बोली हूँ. What I said that पहले मैंने बोला कि कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल यूएसए, जैसे मैंने बोला यूएसए का नाम लिया, राइट? यूएसए एंड इंडिया का डिफरेंस लिया. व्हाई कंपनीज इन यूएसए आर स्पेंडिंग so much of their resources in this capitalist capital goods, and so much high tech technology like artificial intelligence or driverless car or जो autopilot car है, right? So I discussed that yes, why Tesla and all these competition, all these companies are investing so much amount, because in such developed economy there is more demand of this kind of technology, right? And because there is no much need of consumer good because the population is, and that's why in such economies they are investing more of their resources in production of all this high tech technology, unlike India. Then मैंने example दिया, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज, मैंने पार्टिकुलर एक कंज्यूमर के बारे में वही बात कर रहे हैं, हम पार्टिकुलर
जी
एक
मैम,
कंज्यूमर की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, राइट?
सॉरी
सो
मैम, आई
यस,
इंटरप्रेटेड इट रॉन्ग।
यस, नो नो नो, इट्स फाइन प्लीज, इंटरेक्शन करना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि क्या पता इफ आई एम, बिकॉज in this kind of medium online, because we are also not used to teaching through this online medium, right, where we are not seeing the faces, right? और मुझे पता भी नहीं चल रहा है whether whatever I am been uttering, whether you have been understood or not. So अच्छी बात है कि you should interact. Okay, so मैंने बोला कि okay, for economy, capitalist economy, right, where producers are taking the decision of what to produce, they are taking decision in capitalist economy कि no, we have to produce more of this technology जो फ्यूचर नीड में है, राइट? जो आपका ड्राइवरलेस कार है, इट इज नॉट ऑन रोड राइट नाउ, दे आर doing all this R&D for the future need, right? Future demand. So why they can do it? Because the present demand or present need is not for any consumer good, right? Because it is also been produced, but it is not for uh, अनलाइक इंडिया जहाँ पे कंज्यूमर गुड्स की नीड ज्यादा है, इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट इन कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी पर पॉपुलेशन इज ऑल्सो लेस. सो देन मैंने बोला कि नाउ को मैंने ये चेंज कर लेती हूँ. ओके, देन आई डिस्कस दैट फॉर व्हाट टू प्रोड्यूस, राइट. दो किस तरह से
मैम
प्राइस फिक्स होती है, यस बताओ.
मैम तो हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जैसे एप्पल ने जो अब अपना जो न्यू फोन्स लॉन्च करे हैं उसके अंदर 5G है. बेसिकली उसके अंदर उसका मेन फोकस 5G टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर ही है कि फ्यूचर पर्सपेक्टिव की वजह से उसके जो फोन्स हैं वो लॉन्ग लास्टिंग होंगे. बट मैम इंडिया जैसी कंट्रीज जो हैं जहाँ पे एप्पल की सबसे ज़्यादा मार्केट है, सबसे ज़्यादा कंज्यूमर्स और कस्टमर्स एप्पल के ही इंडिया में हैं. तो मैम इंडिया के अंदर अभी 5G 1-2 साल में आने का कोई स्कोप नहीं है. आराम से मैम 5 to 6 years लगेंगे 5G को आने में. तो मैम फिर जो बंदा 12 खरीदेगा, 12 प्रो खरीद लेगा, उसके लिए तो मैम वो काइंड ऑफ वर्थ इट नहीं होगा ना, कि जब 5G वो यूज ही नहीं कर पाएगा.
इसीलिए जस्ट कल एक न्यूज में how the features of this iPhone 12, right? It is not as such like 11. 11 जो है उसका डिमांड इसलिए ज़्यादा थी बिकॉज वो बाद में हम डिस्कस करेंगे, ठीक है. अभी हमारे जैसे आप बोल रहे हो आईफोन की बात, राइट. आईफोन का ऑल्दो द बिगेस्ट मार्केट इज इंडिया. इंडिया इन फैक्ट इज बिगेस्ट मार्केट फॉर एवरीथिंग. व्हाई? बिकॉज इंडिया में जो हाई इनकम स्ट्रेटा के पॉपुलेशन है इट इज ऑल्सो वेरी हाई, एंड जो लो इनकम स्ट्रेटा के पॉपुलेशन है इट इज ऑल्सो वेरी हाई, राइट. सो फॉर ऑल द प्रोड्यूसर इन ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड दे आर फाइंडिंग इंडिया एज देयर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन और देयर सेल्स हब. क्यों? बिकॉज आज चाइना के लिए भी इंडिया वॉज ए बिगेस्ट मार्केट, राइट. चाइनीज जितनी भी प्रोडक्ट्स है, मे बी ए लग्जरी गुड और मे बी ए नेसेसिटी गुड लाइक स्मॉल चीज, राइट. स्मॉल प्रोडक्ट्स लाइक एक कुछ भी आप सस्ता चीज मान लो, राइट. मे बी एक प्लास्टिक का कोई चीज, आपका जो कवर है फोन का, एनीथिंग, तो सारा मेड इन चाइना है. एंड इट्स बिगेस्ट मार्केट वॉज इंडिया, राइट. अभी भी है, ऑल्दो अभी काफी सारे तारीफ वगैरह लग चुका है. सो नाउ जो आपका अभी जैसे मैंने बोला था कि प्राइस डिसीजन, तो प्राइस डिसीजन किस तरह से लिया जाता है. सो फॉर ए कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी, अब मैं आगे कि हर्ष ने शायद बोला था कि टेस्ला के ऊपर, सो उसको मैं क्लैरिफाई करती हूँ कि
मैंने बोला था.
ओके, उद्देश्य आपने ही बोला था, यस. सो राइट, जैसे हमने बोला कि एक कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी में प्राइस डिसीजंस आर टेकन बाय और व्हाट टू प्रोड्यूस, हाउ टू प्रोड्यूस एंड फॉर whom टू प्रोड्यूस, दिस डिसीजंस आर टेकन बाय प्रोड्यूसर. सो प्रोड्यूसर कैसे लेते हैं, क्यों लेते हैं. सो फर्स्टली हमने बोला कि दे यूज प्राइस मैकेनिज्म स्ट्रेटेजी टू फिक्स द प्राइस. तो प्राइस मैकेनिज्म स्ट्रेटेजी क्या है? डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, राइट. सो why they are producing all this technology, why they are producing iPhone, they are first finding in their economy what is the demand, right. They have analyzed that by demand forecasting techniques that okay, there will be high demand of a 5G technology. 5G का अगर हम फोन लॉन्च करते हैं at a high price, it will have a market here, right. They have ascertained, and that's why they are utilizing their resources in production of a high tech technology. जैसे हमने बोला कि driverless car or maybe artificial intelligence or robots, right. So why they are investing all their resources, more of their resources or maximum of their available resources in the economy in producing that, because there is a high demand of this technology. So now many of the companies, they are investing in those high tech technology because they want to have a trademark over a or a copyright over a particular technology, right, for some robotic technology or driverless technology, right. So जैसे मैंने नेक्स्ट बोला कि कंपटीशन अवेलेबल है क्या नहीं, राइट. जैसे व्हाई आई हैव टेकन, तुमने बोला कि मिडिल इनकम के लिए है, नहीं है, या लोअर इनकम के लिए नहीं है. ऑफ कोर्स फॉर ए कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी their concern is not to satisfy the need of a lower income people. They will produce those goods which will give them maximum profit, right. So that's why their focus is for selling their products only to the high income people, high income consumer, so that they will buy their product and they can earn profit, because their motive is not social welfare. So why they will think of lower income people or middle income people, right? Because producers main motive is maximization of profit, right? So then we discussed that what are the competition. If there is only company, जैसे अभी मैंने टेस्ला का नाम लिया, so right now जैसे टेस्ला is the only company which is doing some trademark over this driverless technology, right? They have started and they have also successful in a research in the driverless technology using this robotic or artificial intelligence. So now, if it will be the only company, so they can increase their price, right? Because they know मैं अकेला एक कंपनी हूँ जो ड्राइवरलेस कार बना रहा हूँ, so people will buy my product. If there will be some 10 other companies who are also producing a similar kind of product, right? So there will be a competitive price. Why competitive price? Because now the consumer will like to buy a product which will have a less price, right? अगर आज एक टेस्ला का फॉर एग्जांपल मैं बोल रही हूँ, जैसे एग्जांपल बस है, ओके, सो अभी तक आया ही नहीं मार्केट में. सो इफ ए ड्राइवरलेस कार का अगर प्राइस है कुछ 2 करोड़ का, और फिर मान लो $1 million का, right? So now it's the only company. If there will be 10 other companies who are also producing a similar kind of car that is remote control से operate होने वाला या driverless car है, so now they have to decrease the price, right? Otherwise जो consumer है they will shift from their product to other product, other driverless car. So it also depends on not only on the demand and supply, that is price mechanism करने के लिए, but they also need to check the existing market. Who are the competitors? The competition in the market or the other producer producing a similar type of product. So accordingly, the price will be fixed, right? So अगर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा producers होंगे, so the price need to be decreased. Price need to be decreased तभी कर सकते हैं. That means they also need to decrease their cost of production. तभी price decrease कर पाएंगे. Then they also need to check the cost reflection of sacrifices. So that means production possibility curve use करके we need to see कि if there is a high competition in the market, more and more producers are producing, then accordingly you have to decrease your price, right? And accordingly you have to also utilize the resources, एक जो producer का resources है, to reduce the cost, right? So they have to make certain sacrifices. उनका जो alternative होगा, they have to utilize that alternative resource so that cost can be decreased. Then demand reflection of need, right? They also need to, we are discussing about only capitalist economy, profit motive से हम बात कर रहे हैं. So they also need to see, yes उद्देश्य, yeah. चलो मैं फिर टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करूंगी, मैं आपका डाउनलोड कर लेती हूँ. ओके, एक मिनट में बस ये बात कर लेती हूँ, बस 2 लाइन है. सो फॉर ए कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी, प्रॉफिट मोटिव के हिसाब से प्रोडक्शन विल बी डन, प्राइस विल बी फिक्स, राइट? सो दे आल्सो हैव टू सी व्हाट्स द डिमांड ऑफ द पीपल. सो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्शन दे हैव टू डू, कौन सा गुड बनाना है. सो द गुड विल बी प्रोड्यूस अकॉर्डिंग टू analyzing the current demand in the market, right? And as well as mobility of the resource, which kind of resources are available. जैसे हमने एक इंडिया में ही एग्जांपल दिया था कि if the resources of steel ore or iron ore is available in Jharkhand and Orissa, that's why all the steel companies, steel industries are operated from all these places like Jharkhand and Orissa. Similarly, for a capitalist economy also, they need to see what are the resources available, where it is available, and how much it will be spent for carrying those resources from one place to another. So accordingly, they have to take the decision of what to produce, right? So that means competition क्या देखना है, producers कितना है industry में, that need to be checked. Then cost of production also need to be checked. So how they can decrease their cost of production. They also need to see the demand for a particular product by the consumer in that economy, and then they also need to see the availability of resources and the transportation of those resources and their cost. So accordingly, the price will be fixed in this kind of capitalist economy. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. होपफुली मंडे तक मेरा वो जो डिवाइस है एक डिजिटल पेन फॉर डिजिटल आर्टिस्ट, होपफुली वो आ जाए, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट एबल टू यूज दैट माई जो एक आईपैड है उसको नहीं यूज कर पा रही हूँ. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can we leave now?